the fact that there are a record number of Americans leaving America. Yeah, there's a bunch of y'all leaving now. It ain't just us passport brothers anymore. It's not just the blue book gentlemen. It's people flying out the United States like crazy. No wonder the passport applications are 4 months behind. We're going to talk about that. One of the reasons, first of all, people are leaving because we're starting to realize the United States ain't all it's cracked up to be. We love it, yes. We appreciate all that we've accomplished throughout history, whether you're black, you're white, or Asian. America is the country known as the melting pot of the world. Yes. But is America what it used to be? Y'all guys know what I always say about America. America is the girl that I took to the prom, but she don't look like that no more. That's the United States now. So at the end of the day, guys, don't feel like you're doing something wrong if you're thinking about moving outside the United States, because there are a lot of cultures that are actually thinking just like you do. Nomadics in the building too. Living in the States is a bad deal. Yeah, working in the States, great. I'm going to put that out there one more time. Working in the States is a corporation. Get your education. We're known for education. We're known for inventing. We're known for our creativity. We're known for our movies, our music, our foods. We're known for anything that people around the world can consume. Notice that? We're known for products and services. That's it. But when it comes to being human and humane, that ain't our thing. We're a corporation, not a country. It should be called United States of America, Inc. But let's go back to the video real quick. I want to hold this up.
Jennifer Stevens is the Executive Director for International Living, a worldwide resource for Americans moving overseas.
And when we talk about these modern conveniences, you know...
In October, International Living hosted this boot camp for people looking to retire abroad.
Where are you from?
Texas.
Texas.
You?
Okay. Maryland.
Hundreds paid for access to information on everything from buying a home in another country to finding an expat community in dozens of overseas nations. So
let's go back a little bit because I want y'all to see this.
It's paid for access to information on everything from buying a home in another country to finding.
Okay, did y'all see something that I noticed? Come on, we ain't got the lie on this show. They're in Atlanta. I'm going to say this again. They are in Atlanta. What city is Atlanta? Chocolate City. Where are the everyday brothers and sisters in this meeting? Oceans upon oceans of white people with a couple extra dollars. Now, one black person in sight. You called it, Julian. I'm telling you, they gonna leave y'all black right where you are. Y'all, see, I'm gonna tell you something about black people. We so busy worried about the conspiracy of, well, you know why Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are building rockets, because they gonna leave all the black people here on Earth and blow it up. I don't care how many conspiracy theories you got. You're not looking at what's really taking place right now. White people ain't leaving Earth. They leaving the United States. That's what they doing. These people paid a pretty penny for information. You see how I do consultations with one brother and sister at a time. They have a whole hall, not a room, a hall full of white people ready to get out the United States. You think they gonna leave y'all to go to the moon? They just going straight to Mexico. They going to Portugal. They going to Spain. They're going to Africa. They're going to Southeast Asia. They're coming down here to Colombia and Brazil. Well, y'all think that this is a game. I'm telling you, these white people serious.
Well, Bill's 82.
Growing up in Chicago, Susan Cura never dreamed she would live in Mexico. Now, she couldn't see herself living anywhere else.
We came here, actually read an article in the Chicago Tribune talking about retiring in Mexico on $10 a day, which of course is impossible. And we were intrigued. So we came to Mexico. We absolutely loved the culture, the vitality, the ambiance, the the weather, the financial, it was cheaper to live here. So,
I think she's pregnant.
It's not hard to see why she and others have moved here. The US dollar is worth more than 19 times the Mexican peso, making this country a bargain.
El retirado viene a México.
A retiree comes to Mexico to spend less than what they would in the United States, a place with better weather and better services. With their pension of $40,000 to $50,000 in the US, they could not live there with the same quality of life as they could in Mexico.
These people have taken their weekends off and have flown to a all-black city. This wasn't in Texas. This wasn't in the heart of Kentucky. This meeting wasn't in Tennessee. This is black. These are white people in an all-black city, and you don't see no black people in that meeting. But let somebody somebody come up with a bullshit topic. You will see all black men and all black women. Let them be a panel of black men and black women talking about the hatred that black women have for black men and the disparity between the black woman and the black man. That hall will be filled with brothers and sisters. Let that have been Derek Jackson in his heyday. That hall would have been filled with black women paying top dollar to see Mr. Muscle that cheat on his wife every chance he get. But when it's time to do something productive, you can't find a black person in the room. That's why when I hear black people, I'm going to say something for real, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. That's why sometimes, not all the time, because I know there's some illegal things and some things that are systematically set up against us. But I will say this. That's why a lot of times I keep my mouth shut when I hear black people complaining, because you don't want to hear what I really want to say. When I hear y'all complain about police brutality and I hear y'all whining about the court system and child support, and y'all talk about your boss, you only make this amount compared to the white man, this and that, and all you need to do is get a passport, and you automatically can become in the top 10% of most countries in the world, and you still complain about what a white dude is doing to you in that I throw away the key. Because it just shows me you got a passport, you complaining, but you ain't going nowhere. You'll visit Colombia. You'll watch us on the live streams, but you will not get your money stacked so you can leave in 5 years. So you can leave in 10 years when your kids turn 18. So you can leave in 20 years like all those people we just saw with the silver hair. They gone. They gone. You still stuck in the States. Complain about what the white man doing. This is what the white man is doing. Y'all want to know what the white man doing? You ready? Right here. This right here. This is what the average everyday white man is doing right there. What you see it on that screen. Getting up out the United States. Well, y'all sitting back thinking the police, the system is set up against me. It's holding me back. The only system that you need is a passport, bro. And you good. Same thing with you ladies. Y'all complain all day long about the black man don't love me. We divesting. Who y'all gonna divest to? Y'all see the white people, they leaving. So who you gonna divest to? Asian dudes? You got what? The Latin brothers? Come on now. Come on now. We divesting. Ain't nobody gonna be around. Y'all keep on playing. Y'all think this is a game. Last year, the statistics of Americans that live and die in their own city was 72%. This year is 68%. I promise you, next year, I bet you it's going to be like 61, 65 or 61% of people living in their own cities. In other words, it's going to be so many people that have left the United States or left their own city that the stat of 72 is no longer going to be the it stat, or 68 is not going to be the it stat anymore of people in the United States don't leave out of their hometowns. 68% of them. Watch that number drop and keep dropping. And the government is worried because realize Those are taxpayers that are leaving. I'm going to say that again. Those are taxpayers. We get when you leave out the United States, you get dude, you think I was a personal, now, the companies incorporated that we have, but you think I was a personal corporation. With all the tax breaks, man, I get Donald Trump type tax breaks that I never knew existed for expats. Why you got to pay the full scale 100% taxes, or you getting audited. We get breaks. All we got to do is file. Over 90% of all expats do not owe back taxes. We just got to file. Why you got to pay. And all the white people in that room are going to experience the exact same thing that the rest of us expats are experiencing. And you going to keep on staying in that country, complaining about the white man, complaining about taxes, and you got a passport. I'm just saying. We are Night. Shout out to you for the $4.99. He said things are changing rapidly. That's right. He said my mom is post-military, about to move to Hawaii. I remember you were mentioning that too, brother. He said he said we both spoke about living outside the States, and she supports heavily. Yeah, I kid you not. The more older people leave, and the more older. Now here's the kicker: the more older people like me, over 50. I'm 55, that keeps putting up videos on YouTube of the new life that they're living. I promise you, it's going to be another movement of this right here. And it's going to be black people. It's going to be mamas and daddies. I'm telling you, because people, no matter what race or color, take it from me, from my other channel, people are hurting. All these people on Social Security, they're on pension fund, on pensions, they're on their investments, and living in the United States is eating up their 401k, eating up their Social Security benefits. The cost of living adjustment is just not enough for the average black person, white person, Latin person that's retired. 50% of all retirees retired at the age of 62. So you retired at 62 years old, you only get 75% of what you were supposed to get at 67 years old. And you struggling. And you watching dudes like Andre Love Crossing Borders, who's 55, and his rent is what? And my rent is what? People are leaving. All right, 1990. Oh, Will in the building. Shout out to Will. 1999. Will say Dre, and Will's a perfect example. Will always got his butt down here. Will ain't never in the States. He pretend like he in the States. He said, Dre, these are probably, and I say probably some of the same people who credited with the humane treatment towards black people, i.e. discrimination, jobs, job oppressors, and now they want to live with the same bad behavior. Beware. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something about that I notice about most Americans. Shout out for the super chat and let me know and correct me if I'm wrong. I noticed that, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I notice most Americans act a little differently once we get outside the borders of America. I see brothers that would have never spoken to another brother in exchange another brother with. I was telling on Obsidian show, I said in the United States, there is no way in hell you will ever see two black men walking down the street, stop each other, have a conversation, and exchange numbers. You will see that with a guy with a girl, but you don't see two brothers exchanging numbers like that. So until we cross these borders of the United States to other countries, and now we can let our guards down and be real brothers. And I can see you across the street. You can see me across the street. Bro, where you from? Oh, man, I'm from Chi. Oh, dude, what's up, bro? Where you going tonight? I ain't going. Like, man, I mean, the fella's supposed to be meeting up. And so, oh, cool. Hey, man, take my number down, man. Hit me up, man. Hey, I got a truck. I'll scoop you up, man. We can go ahead and hang out with the other brothers. Only outside the United States. And I'm starting to see that with white people, too. White people that only hung in their little white Iowa, Wyoming, Kentucky environment. When they leave the States, they start to realize everything that the United States had programmed about being white. A lot of that was bullshit. A lot of it they could take advantage of, but they can't take advantage of it in Thailand. Oh, you being white, it if anything, it's problematic in another country because you really look like an ATM machine in a walking Target. To where at least in the United States you could blend in, but your whiteness is not a benefit in other countries. It's really not. So a lot of white people are starting to realize I need to get me some black friends and some Latin friends and some Italian friends and some German friends and some African friends. And they feel free to do that. They don't have to lie. You got white people in the United States that really want to have a black friend, but they were so pressured from their white community for so long. Now they ain't got all that pressure because they outside the borders of the United States. They ain't got to lie no more. I like Latin food. I like African food. I like going. You got white women that's been waiting to have sex with a brother, and the only reason she ain't do it because she was pressured by all her little white friends since she was a teenager. You gonna be with him? You gonna be with a black guy? Now she could go to whatever country she want, and she ain't got to worry about none of them heifers pressuring her with being with a black man or being with a Latin man or being with an Asian man. She could be with whoever she wants. And that's what I'm seeing, the difference between us as black people outside the states and black people in the states and white people outside the states compared to white people in the states. I kid you not. Now, are many white people still funny style outside the states? Yeah. I ain't saying that all white people just kumbaya. I'm not saying that all brothers act like they got some sense when they leave the states. We know Pookies and Ray Rays exist outside the states. But what I'm saying is, in general, I see all of us kind of like shedding the skin of the BS, them lies that the United States told us, that stereotype that we all put on each other in the United States. You just shed that bullshit off. Some of the coolest brothers that I have met walking down the street here in Colombia. I see you dudes and I know it's you. Bruh, come here. Where you from, bruh? There is no way in hell I'm going to stop a brother. I don't care if we live in the suburbs. I'm going to stop a brother and ask him about his life and what he's up to while I'm in the United States. We don't do that. And so I ain't gonna lie, I appreciate the fact that I see at least a slight change in white people outside the United States and a slight change in black people outside the United States. I'm not saying we all perfect, but we act a little better when we leave the United States. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with the video.
An expat community in dozens of overseas nations. So countries are reacting to this trend.
Absolutely.
And recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's stop it right there for a second. He said countries are reacting to this trend of Americans leaving and they are recruiting. That's why all these countries after COVID, they're trying to get some dollars. They're trying to get them revenues of seeing all these Americans with US dollars. They like, listen, we got a digital nomad visa for you. Another country, like, we got a digital nomad visa for you. Another country, it's not coincidental that all these countries keep popping up with these digital nomad visas to where you don't even have to buy property anymore. You don't have to marry somebody anymore. You don't have to retire from anything. They like, listen, you can work online all you want. Come on over to our country. You ain't got to deal with that mess in the United States. And we got beautiful and cooperative women. And we got friendly people. And we got healthy food. And yes, our medical facilities are better than those in the United States. I mean, it's a win-win-win-win. Tim, I'm telling you, man, it's a win-win. That's where the flight's going out. Yeah. I mean, countries are recruiting. You know how it used to be when you was in high school and they used to have a college fair, and they used to have you go to the college fair and they have all those different colleges with their little booths, and you just walk around collecting brochures from this school and that school, and you gonna visit their campus and everything. That's what countries are doing right now with Americans. They're recruiting us, dude. They like, man, you ain't got to pull up with them American prices. Cup of coffee in America, $15, $16, some cases $20. Come on over here. Our Starbucks is the same Starbucks franchise, and we'll give it to you for $5.15. What? Yup. The same cappuccino latte. You can't beat it. I mean, you really can't beat it as far as, now notice this. I've talked very little to nothing about women tonight. There are so many benefits for men and women, especially as brothers and sisters, in other countries. We don't have to even just gravitate to the topic of relationships or going out partying and clubbing. That's the cherry. We're talking about the cake. And so, yeah, man, I kid you not, man. There's so much opportunities, man. And if, like I said, if it takes you 5 years to do it, 10 years to do it, if you got to live partly in the States and partly outside the States, that's how I started. Guys, I kid you not. I didn't start off like, bam, I'm moving to Colombia and I'm never coming back. No, I started getting this apartment, buying furniture. I'm still working full time in the States. I will come back periodically. I'm moving clothes over here, moving shoes over here. Next thing you know, 70 to 80% of my stuff is in Colombia within a year. The rent for this apartment was only $380. Dude, I could blow $380 at a club in the States. All I had to do was stop clubbing, and I had my own apartment in Colombia. I never had to get an Airbnb again. But let's get back to the story. Make sure you guys join the Patreon. We need 2 people tonight. If you guys don't mind, join the Patreon. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $25. We need 2 brothers. Support your bruh. 2 people. It's $5, man. It's $5 a month. Come on, man. $10 a month. $15. Y'all tell me y'all can't scrape up $15 a month. I guess after I said be thrifty. But look out for your brother. Shout out to you guys. Just 2 brothers. Let's get back to the video, guys.
Countries are doing that.
Recruiting, Stephen says, by loosening restrictions on travel and work visas. On everything from buying a home in another country to finding an expat community in dozens of overseas nations. So countries are reacting to this trend.
Absolutely.
And recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Countries are doing that.
Recruiting, Stephen says, by loosening restrictions on travel and work visas, allowing Americans to live abroad for years without renewing the visa, or in some cases, indefinitely. Will this be forever?
This is forever.
Becky Gobble and her husband live in Marble Falls, Texas, but are planning to leave in the next 12 to 24 months.
And you're out of here. And we're out of here.
In fact, politics are pushing Americans on both sides of the aisle to pack their bags. International Living reported a 1,000% increase in web traffic after Roe versus Wade was overturned. Meanwhile, the 2016 election of Donald Trump, George Floyd protests, and the COVID-19 pandemic all significantly drove up clicks for Where Can I Live, a consulting business for people who need help with the logistics of moving to another country.
Moving abroad for most people is a huge undertaking.
I zoomed in Where Can I Live CEO Allison Johnson from her home in Barcelona, Spain. She told me politics and divisiveness aren't the only factors pushing Americans to leave the U.S.
These include cost of living in general, especially at the moment. Cost of healthcare comes up so often. Safety and security, especially those with smaller kids.
But back at that conference in Atlanta, people I spoke with said the moving abroad trend is less about people who are fed up with our country and more about Americans looking for a different life experience. And then there are the growing number of digital nomads, Americans who can work remotely, even internationally post-pandemic.
It was more like, okay, I don't have to make a lot of money. I don't have to work too hard.
Jessica Ramesh now calls.
I don't want that to go past you guys. When I first saw it, I want to introduce you to that moment. She said, I don't have to make a lot of money. She's talking about for her initial movement. She's right. One of the biggest misconceptions that's keeping a lot of people in the States is you got to have a lot of money. A lot of you guys like, I'll wait till I get my pension. I'll wait till I get my 401k up. I'll wait till I'm telling you, man, The one thing that you cannot get back, shout out to my man Afro National. The one thing that you can't get back is your time. I kid you not. That's why I was talking to the brother today. That's why I came down here and all I had was $20,000 to $30,000 in 401k. I knew that would last me for 2 years in Colombia. I kid you not. Now, mind you, I already had a furnished apartment. I already had to take care of for a year. I already been paying on it and everything for a year. So I knew how much my income was for the year. I kid you not, I'm telling you a true story. I came down here with 20,000. I was making 70 to 80, almost 85 a year in the States. I kid you not, man. I gambled on myself. I said, let me take this 20. And if I'm serious about this, or 30, if I'm serious about this, let me get my up out of here. I started with an online job, like a lot of you guys are doing, an online job. And so between my 30 and my online job, I was doing pretty good. All I needed was foundational money. I got it. Some of you dudes got ex-military, ex-pension money, and you still in the States. Now I understand you got kids or family. I'm not talking about you guys. But even some of you guys with kids or family, you know that you should at least have a place in another country because it's so affordable. Some of you guys got the top level of pension that you can get, 100%. Some of you guys got pension from you working at a company. Some of you guys have money that you've invested in real estate and business, and the money is taking care of that real estate for you. You got a lot more than I have, except for the one thing that my man Glenn just said. You guys ain't got no guts. And the United States took that away from us. I'm not just talking about black folks. It's white folks like that too. Ain't got no balls. I remember the first year that I came down here, like in our first 5 live streams, Andrea said something on the live stream that just made me so proud. She told me she was proud of me because I had guts. She said because a lot of people don't have the nerve, the strength within themselves to trust themselves in another country. Now we're doing great. Anything that you got in the United States, I got. And I got new stuff just like y'all got new stuff. And some of you guys don't, when you guys come down here, you don't see me impoverished. And when y'all come to my neighborhood, y'all don't be coming to a bad neighborhood where you're like, man, Dre be talking crazy on live streams because he really live in the bad. No, I don't. You guys see my neighborhood. I have nothing to hide. The one thing that I want to have is I wanted to build Andre outside of another country. I didn't want to build more money while I was in the States because I couldn't get time back. So while you guys are sitting back trying to make another extra $5,000 a month or another extra $12,000 or $15,000 a year, bruh, I get the one thing that you ain't got: time. Time is the world's greatest commodity. Money can be made if you're making it online from anywhere. I can work from anywhere. When we were in Cuba, can work from anywhere. We go to Cartagena. I'm working there. I can work from anywhere. While you still trying to get your extra $200,000, $300,000 a year, which you don't need in most countries. Dudes, I'm telling y'all, if you at a point and you are online, or are you retired, or if you're retired, or you have a pension coming in, or any type of monthly residual income that adds up, and I'm being honest, there is no, other than family and friends, there is no way in hell you should still be in the United States. You just bullshitting yourself. Pardon my language.